Can you hear that rain? Oh, we need an arc. Is something else. I'm just going to put a little bit of black underglaze on this. I haven't used it in front of you guys before. I've used it a lot in my teaching studio. Let's see if I've got that kind of on center. This won't have a lot of pressure on it, so it's gonna be okay. So I've poured a little bit of underglaze in this little dish here, and let's see, where can I put that? I'll set it right there and hope that I don't knock it off. So I like to put the underglaze on while the pot is turning, and that way I feel like I can get a fairly decent distribution of the color and not get it too concentrated in one area without kind of blending it into another area. And I think I need to thin that just a bit. This has been sitting, so actually this color, not very many kids use black, so this one's been sitting there for a bit, and it got thick. I had to actually reconstitute it. Don't know why. They all want red for some reason. I can't blame them. I like red. Red is a good color. Okay. Let's see if I can keep that drip from becoming a permanent line. My plan is to see if I can darken that blue surf a little, make it, I don't know, just a thought, but to just give it a darker tone, and it'll still, blue surf still has kind of a mottled blue and green, and then that one has those black crystals, and so I'm just fiddling around really basically just to see what happens when you put a little black undercoat on this. Let's start down here and work up and try to meet that. I love these brushes because, and I like them to do watercolor painting with also, because the fluid just comes right off the bristles, and it's just almost like squirting it on there. It's that easy. And so for something like this, it really lends itself to it. You know what might be kind of a fun thing too is to, once we get this applied, is to take something and kind of wipe some of it off in the areas that are raised. And then when the other top coat is put on it, it'll sort of accentuate those high places. So the design, the texture, the little drawing line and dot design that we have on here probably show up a little more. What do you think? I'm amazed that this is drying at all. The humidity around here has been about 100% for days. Somebody sent me a cartoon on email and it said, does anybody need an ARK built? An ARK built? And down at the bottom it said, if you do, I know a guy, and Noah was spelled N-O-A-H. I thought that was cute. I know a guy. Well, we're going to be needing some boats and arks before long, and there's some places that are flooding terribly. I'm a little bit higher than most people, but I do live near a river, and the river has, in years past, gotten quite well out of its banks, but it's gotten quite close to my house before, but it didn't flood. My house didn't flood. Some other houses down closer to the river did. I'm about a mile from the river. We had a terrible flood one year. And things were pretty bad. They were calling for anybody that had a boat to go to a certain location if they could get there, and from there the Department of the Highway at the time, we didn't have Homeland Security at that time or anything like FEMA, but they just told everybody to go to a particular place, and at the time it was the Highway Patrol that was sort of commandeering the boats, and they had citizens out rescuing people, which I thought was just absolutely heroic. And fortunately, I wasn't one of the ones that needed rescuing, but we could see all of that going on because they showed it on television, and I don't know how those people get all that film on TV without endangering their lives, but they do. And this may be a real bad idea or a good idea. I don't know. We'll see. So I'm not going to put this on the inside. I think that would be just pointless, because this is a kitchen caddy and it will be full of utensils, all of in its use, and so there's no point really in doing that. I think having the Blue Surf glaze in there will be enough to accentuate everything we want to accentuate. So I'm gonna, let's see, let me get a sponge. Okay, all right. So let us begin to glaze this undercoated Kitchen Caddy with Blue Surf Mako number 100. This is the one with no crystals. And, well, I guess we better do the inside. So, keep your glaze stirred up. Now, as I'm doing this, I am currently uploading a video, the one on the butter keeper that we use the same glaze with, but with no undercoat. So maybe I'll try one with a blue undercoat or some kind of other funky color. So if you can see what's going on here, I'm just really slathering this on because I want it to be nice and thick. Not drippy thick, but thick. I'm just going to go right up to the top. We'll tend to this upper edge a little bit later. Notice how often I'm reloading the brush because this is the first coat for one thing, and it really soaks it up. And it's kind of large, so I'm trying to cover a lot of territory here. So I'm just going to get up to the top. Okay, there's coat number 1 on the inside. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So when the other video gets finished and I publish it, which I hope to get done today, you will be able to see what this looks like with no undercoat. That's hard to tell. I'm going to have to do this methodically because this is very hard to tell. Whoa, got drips inside there. No runs, no hits, no errors. Okay. Second row. Okay, we don't want it to run. It's very hard to tell where I'm putting it. So I'm having to kind of count the rows. Okay. Get it right down here to the bottom. Okay, so we got okay, now I'm just not going to worry about that top too much because I'm thinking, what can I do to the top? This rim. I love to put things on the rim of a thing like this, and then let it run, and just, I don't know, I just like that. I just like to, it's kind of like painting. When you get something out of the kiln, it's like painting it and then putting it in there to see how it came out. You just are always kind of surprised a little bit and pleased mostly. So we'll let that dry and we'll come back and see what else we're going to do to it. So here's the second coat drying. Drying. And you know, I think instead of trying to scrape anything off of there, I'm going to use this crystalline glaze, the one Midnight Rain, the one that we used on the very top of the butter keeper. Maybe this will be a nice match, and the lady will buy this one as well. So so I'm just going to put the crystal glaze around the top and maybe concentrate it on the rim. Not very much, because I believe when they tell you that the stuff will run down a vertical surface, I believe it probably will. So we'll see how that works on a vertical surface, as long as we keep it up in the top inch or so. But I'm going to wait till this dries before I do that. So in the meantime, I want to show you something that is pretty handy. Let's see how this... You have probably seen me use these little triangular sponges. These are great. Let me tell you how to make those. Here's a whole bunch of them. And talk about cheap. Let's get that fan over there on that. Okay. This used to be a square chair cushion. It's 1 inch thick, and I don't even remember how much it cost. I got it at Walmart. It wasn't very much. It was to put in. So I have these 2 pieces left, and that's kind of an odd size, which tells me I used it for something. But let me just show you a cute little trick. With a very sharp butcher knife and a cutting board, you can cut this so easily, it's just not even funny. Let's see. We want a rectangle to begin with, so you can do this to any size you want, but you know, to buy sponges that are already triangular shaped from suppliers, and God love the suppliers, we couldn't get along without them, because they really do provide a good service to us. Can you see what I'm doing here? Let's see, let's get it down here. So I cut this in a rectangle off of this odd shaped piece. And so once I have a rectangle, I go from corner to corner and steady that so I can get it up to the corner, and then just slice through this like butter. So then I have a triangular sponge with these nice sharp edges on them, and so that when you're cleaning glaze off of something like this, I can clean that little groove out really easily. It's already dry, I think, and I've cleaned it out. It's real easy to clean stuff out with this. Sometimes you just need a little bit. Sometimes you need a nice strong corner, and you can easily wad these up to do special things with them. So this is just a chair cushion. Didn't cost very much, or I wouldn't have bought it. But anyway, there's your little free hack for the day. We'll come back to this this pot as soon as it gets dry, and we'll put the crystal glaze on there in a few minutes. You know, originally I bought the chair cushion to make sponges for dishwashing, because I don't like to use them for very long because germs. So when they get, this one is long past its wear date, I'm sure. Probably been using this for about 3-4 months. And I've used it to clean the floor and shoes and all kinds of things. But this one has had it. So when they get like this, just throw it away and cut off another piece. So I think this is dry enough. There's still a few little moist spots here and there. But I think we can get away with putting some crystalline glaze up there at the top. So remember, this is the glaze that is the same color as the base coat that I put on there. So on this pot, we've got Underglaze, and we have 2 coats of number 100, and we're about to use a coat of number 115 on here. So remember, on crystalline, you need to make sure you get it all stirred up because those little crystals tend to sink to the bottom. So we'll get that all going there. And again, we're just going to put it around the top, very carefully around the top. Because they told us on the instructions, on the label, that the crystalline glaze tends to run on vertical surfaces. So we're going to take them at their word, but we're going to allow some running, and we're keeping it. The label also said if you're going to use it on a vertical surface, make sure you don't get it close to the bottom, or you will have a mess. So we're going to not have a mess, and hopefully we'll have a beautiful kitchen caddy that will go with the butter keeper and will also look nice on a black granite countertop. Now see, this isn't going to be used for food, so I don't need to worry about the inside having any little texture to it with the crystals. I love the idea of this having the crystals right up there at the top, but I don't want to overdo it. It's hard to know how far to go. Okay. All right, so that'll give us some nice runs, I think. And they're kind of random looking. I don't like anything that looks like it's measured or deliberately. I kind of like it to look sort of accidental. Okay, so we're done on that. That's all I'm going to do to it. I'm going to let it dry, and then we will fire that at cone 6. Thanks for watching.